Now, as far as we can understand, there are variable ways to present a scene in a video game. One is the basic cinematic, which uses a cutscene to move the story forward. We see a lot of these in games such as The Evil Within 2 and The Last of Us 2. Maybe even more so in The Last of Us 2, with it being a representation of the Sony PlayStation brand. And Sony has supported the film to game standard since the PlayStation 3. The Last of Us 2 does a great job at making use of character and world presentation, with Naughty Dog's art directors and a notable voice cast working closely to reflect the vision of the story writers. There are at least a couple of ways to experience The Last of Us. In connection to the game, there is also an HBO TV series that retells the story, so I don't want to pressure you with looking at a lot of those scenes again. Besides, by accessing the options menu, I could skip cutscenes or revisit completed chapters with no problem at all. Here is another solid example of cinematic gameplay. The use of this style of direction isn't easy to land without talented artists and dedication to the screenplay, not to mention some truly surreal resources for visual design. Everything from the pavement to the light and shadow in The Last of Us 2 looks like moving portraits of life in ruin. Watch how Joel holds his hand to his face while riding into the sunlight. A fairly used animation effect, but the alternative is our freedom to ride without stopping to view the animation in cutscene. We have now reached the horizon and a tutorial has opened up. We can now hold L1 to gallop our horse back to camp. You can see many of these animation touches that Naughty Dog has been known for as far back as PS1's Crash Bandicoot and PS2's Jak and Daxter, the precursor legacy. By applying unique animation to gameplay, a cinematic effect can be achieved with the sacrifice of dynamic viewpoint, but not of scale and progression. I must say that I am impressed with the cinematography in the Last of Us series. I think it is some of the best I've seen in the history of story-driven games. Never did I expect it to offer a satisfying degree of action, yet still present a dramatic story that follows it along the way. I'm sure that Metal Gear Solid started all of this, and Silent Hill may be a little closer, but The Last of Us brings life to the forefront, with suspense being kept at a bar minimum.
About what we were talking about earlier. I can't say I'd have done different. I'll take it to the grave if I have to.
I'll see you later.
I would like to share another prompt example of my least preferred style of direction, which is interactive cinema. I wouldn't go as far as saying that it's not needed for telling a good story, but sometimes it does make me feel as though I'm being restrained from moving forward, with interactive cutscenes or what we call minigame, which changes the familiar controls.
Hello? Ellie?
So currently, while I meditate on the controls I learned from the previous tutorials, I am now called to play Guitar for Ellie. Fortunately, The Last of Us 2 keeps it simple, with only a single analog stick required to string the notes. A more challenging version would have to be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's piano, which makes use of both of the sticks. My point is, this can be more diverse than it has to be, and it can alienate the game's basic controls if used for more than an interactive event.
Okay.
Promise me that you won't laugh.
I won't laugh. I won't.
I'm trusting you.
This gameplay event is very simple, as we only use the right stick to string the notes as they are revealed. Since the rhythm and hitting the strings perfectly doesn't matter towards progression, I wouldn't even call this gameplay. However, its existence helps to drive the point that Joel is not the world's greatest guitar man, and that Ellie is not being a judge of his talent.
If I ever were to lose you, I'd surely lose myself. Everything I have found here, I'm not found by myself. Try and sometimes you'll succeed to make this man of me.
When getting through the backstory and entering the town of Jackson, more interactions unlock. You can chat with the dog, loot some freebies, and chat it up with the community.
So,
I'd have to say that the interactions go beyond my expectation. I think I'd be fine with just chatting with the townspeople, since I remember from my first playthrough how I missed some pickup bonuses. But once again, chapter restart and main menu.
yeah, get a good scratch.
There you go.
Well, that didn't suck.
There is even a snowball fight to play with the kids, and by careless research, I figured out that there's no possible way to lose this event.
Ow! What the fuck? I'm not even playing! Cause you're a chicken? You're a chicken! Get to cover! Go! Go! Oh! Gotcha! We're on the board, suckers! Eat that! Ow! Damn! Fuck yeah!
You're already up by 3 points, and the kids are struggling to get even past 1. Now, I don't even try.
No, you little shit! I'm gonna come over there and fight you, like, for real. Yeah, you better run. You better run! Oh, you better hide! Ow! I know where you live, Alex!
Hopefully Dina doesn't throw the victory snowball. It is now 7-3.
I see you! Oh, what a shot! Come on! Gotcha! Ow! Who taught you that?
That was beyond pathetic.
If you were not a child, I would pelt you. In the face! Get back here!
Come on, guys. I have viewers here. Hurry up and hit me.
Ow! You can't get me. God, my shirt. Oh, okay. No fair. Eat it, shrimps. Hey. How's it feel? No. Get her. Help me.
This is an example of cinematic gaming that you would secondly see as interactive cinema. In reality, it is just really easy gameplay that isn't meant to be a game more than an active way to engage with the townspeople. The player might want to do something else in town, opposed to just running directly through it. Another perfect mention falling into the category of cinematic gaming will have to be Remedy and Rockstar's Max Payne and Max Payne 2 Fall of Max Payne. Remasters or potential remakes of those classics are said to be in the works, so may we see how much pain will actually fall from those re-releases. From what I can remember, the first two Max Payne games were non-stop action. Most of the lore is told while you actively play, and a graphic narration is presented at the start of each chapter to tell a piece of the story. A game similar to the direction of Max Payne is called Infamous First Son. It's not, however, received as well by critics, but the game is quite awesome, in my opinion.
Do you remember the joke?
What is the downside to eating a clock? It's time consuming.
That's so dumb.